Hey guys, it's me again. And some of you may have noticed that I haven't put out a story in quite a while. Which kind of goes against my whole put out something every week ethos, doesn't it? Well, there's a reason for that, and it's something I've brought up before, but I wanted to make more of a point of it and explain it in more depth. I haven't put out a story in a while because I screwed up. To explain how and why, I have to go all the way back to the birth of Brimstone. I have a little bit of allergies today, so forgive me for that. When I first started doing Brimstone, I did it completely for fun. I just wanted another outlet. And Brimstone seemed like it would be kind of a fun story. I could experiment with some new stuff and, kind of do things a little bit differently. And no, it didn't do as well as I had thought, but it did pretty well. And along with what I talked about in my last vlog with the depression and the kind of disappointment and the stress that I've been under, I realized that to keep these serials going, if I want to keep them going, I have to have a plan. I have to have a plan for a plot. I have to have a plan for, new characters coming in. I have to either be able to voice those characters or find someone to voice those characters. I have to do sound design. I can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting people to not get bored with it. I have to write a compelling story and then perform it and then produce it well so that I have a good story to share. And when I started Old Bob, the newest one, I hadn't done that. And Old Bob requires it as much as Brimstone does. So I had to go back to first principles. I had to go back to the beginning. If something goes wrong, go back to the beginning. That was a terrible Inigo Montoya impersonation, I know, but the point still stands. I had to go back to basics, and I had to build from scratch. Luckily, not completely from scratch, because I already had some pretty good ideas for Old Bob and Brimstone as to what I wanted to do with them moving forward. And Old Bob started the same way. Even after I had done Brimstone, I was like, I like the idea of just doing a robot who's having a terrible day. Just always having a terrible day. And I kind of jumped on that and ran with it and didn't think it was going to turn into a thing. And it's turning into a thing. So I need to be prepared to make it the best thing I can. And I wasn't. And I jumped the gun. And I released too soon. I released thinking I could just write 3,000 words a week and get it out there into the world. And there's a lot more to it than that if I want to do it well. And I want to do it well because you guys deserve good quality stuff. Got something on my lens. There we go. Sorry about that. So, yeah, if I want to put out something good, I have to make sure that I do the groundwork. And I hadn't. So that's on me. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going back to basics and I'm doing the groundwork. I am plotting out entire seasons, 15 episode seasons, for both Old Bob and Brimstone. I'm finding new audio assets. I'm learning to work with them better. I'm doing a lot of research and a lot of studying and a lot of world building and story building. So, yeah, that's what I'm currently doing, and that's why you guys haven't gotten anything from me in a while. Like I said in my last vlog, I'm getting back to the point where I can work again. And part of that, for me, is having the groundwork built so that I don't get stuck. Because I'm a plotter. I don't write well when I write off the cuff. I get stuck and I get frustrated and I walk away from it. And I don't want to do that because I know how much how many of you really like these stories, and that matters to me. I want to give you good stuff. I don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel or push boundaries with everything, but it has to be good. And what was coming wasn't going to be good. So I put on the brakes and I went back to basics. I got to the point, if we're going to use a metaphor here, I got to the point where I was a few stories up in the building and I realized it was leaning because I hadn't built a solid foundation. So I have to go back to scratch and build a solid foundation. So that's what I'm doing. It's what I've been doing all day today. And it's probably what I'll be doing all day tomorrow and the next day and the day after that. And just to walk you guys through a little bit of the process, I'm going to do more of these vlogs that are actually about the process and not me just talking about my mental state and emotional state and that kind of stuff. But once they're plotted, I start writing. Each of the stories is going to be roughly 3,000 words. That comes out to about 24 minutes of audio at my speaking pace. But, that varies depending on which characters I'm doing and how quickly they're speaking and kind of situationally, how much gap is there. So, or how many gaps there are, that's a better way to phrase that, between one person speaking and another person speaking. Am I using sound effects? Am I using music? All that stuff affects that. But I will go in and I'll probably write 4,000 or 5,000 words for each story. And then I edit the hell out of it. I edit it into submission. Edit it rather than edit it. My accent gets weird sometimes. And then I edit it, and once I'm done editing, I go in and I record. One character at a time usually, especially if it's a story with multiple characters, because some of them burn out my throat a little bit. So I'll go in and do one character at a time because, I wrote the script, so I know, what's going on in each scene. And then those audio files get modified or edited for each character. Then they all get put in place. And then I add background music or sound effects or background ambient sounds or, whatever the situation and the story calls for. So, might be a little ways out before I have anything new coming out as far as Old Bob and Brimstone goes. But I'm working to make it the absolute best I can for you guys and for myself, because I don't like putting out crap work. I don't. I want everything I do to be the best thing I could do at the time. And I think that's something we all need to reach for. Also, I'm going to keep doing the YouTube shorts, and I'm going to, keep up my presence in the world while I work as much as I can. And there might be something new coming, because I had a new idea. It's actually a very old idea. Some of you may know I used to have a different YouTube channel, and that had a very interesting show on it called What If. And basically the reason that a lot of the people who are watching this know me is because of one particular episode of that show that got me more famous than anything else I'd done, definitely. Not famous by any stretch, but more famous than I had been before. Or since, actually. So, yeah. There's going to be a new thing coming, and it's going to be a bit different. It's not going to be so much linear storytelling as another passion of mine that I don't really have a way to... I don't have a good term for it. I'm sure there is one, but I don't know it. But, yeah, so I'm going to be working on that as well. But that doesn't come first. Brimstone and Old Bob come first, because you guys are waiting on those. Those are the ones you love. So, yeah, the next few vlogs are probably going to be me taking you guys through the process of how I do what I do, and I'm going to try and keep it interesting, but watching someone plot is not exactly exciting for the most part. I mean, if you find it interesting and you want me to kind of walk you through my thinking on it, which is kind of what I was planning on doing, let me know, because, I'm sitting at a computer and going, I don't like that word so much. Move that word over there and put a different word in there. And what if this thing happened then and that thing happened here? Like that kind of stuff. And it's kind of all internal, which doesn't make for great TV. So, yeah, that's what I'm working on, and that's why you guys haven't gotten anything from me yet, because I'm ready to go. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to get back to it and ready to, show the world what I can do again. But it has to be good, and it has to be right, and I am earning it this time. So, yeah. Podcasts, links in the description. Merch store, link in the description. Like and follow if you enjoyed this. And let's see, what else? Podcast, merch store, Patreon, link in the description. And yeah, thank you guys very much for being patient, and I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing. That's going to be my next several vlogs, is going to be me walking you through my process. No, I'm going to do my best to keep spoilers out of it, so I may be blurring out some screens and stuff like that, but I'm going to kind of walk you through writing a 15-episode serial, writing 2 of them, and we'll go from there. And I hope you enjoy watching me do what I do, and I hope you enjoy what I do, because I am absolutely pouring my heart and soul into these projects. So that's going to be it from me for today, and I'll talk to you guys later.